Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tuscaloosa, we live by the blue-collar basketball motto.
Stepping back, the three.
Hard work.
2-on-1. Driving, stepping through. Stop shot. Got it to go.
Teamwork.
Playing the song for the champions of the Southeastern Conference.
Join us for every game right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Hey, do you have heating and air issues as the springtime starts to roll around? Hey, there's just one name you need to know. Talent Heating and Air. Number one heating and air business right here in the Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, we're locally based. If you call, you're going to get somebody based in Huntsville. Mentioned in spring earlier, we can actually do indoor air quality products, so we can help alleviate those allergy problems you're having in your house.
All right, Thomas from Talent Heating and Air, give them the number that when they call, somebody live and local will pick up.
That's 256-503-4490.
And you can always head to the World Wide Web and find Talent Heating and Air, and you guys will still respond.
That's talenthvac.com. If you don't want to talk to a person right away, you can fill out a form on there and get scheduled for a visit.
That's Talent Heating and Air. They're live, they're local. It's Talent Heating and Air.
AL certain number 21014.
Listen to UAH Charger basketball all season long.
So when we came out of the timeout, Coach Hedge had initially called a man play, and they ended up faking a zone. So the whole bench was yelling zone, zone, zone. So we tried to switch the play last second. We ended up getting confused. So Tommy swung it to me, and I initially was like, all right, I'm going to try and get to the rim right here. We're only down 2. We don't need a 3. And he flipped his hips real hard, and I tossed it back. And as soon as I let it go, I knew it was in.
Campbell to plug it in. 81-79 Union. Inbounds it goes. Dribbling it out. Tommy Murs swings it over to Campbell. Campbell on the wing for the lead. Oh my God! Blake Campbell gets a 3 into the front court for the win. No good! No good! No good! Blake Campbell with some onions from Jackson, Tennessee.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Well, I hope you've missed us. It's been a couple of days as we have been preempted yesterday due to Alabama basketball. Crimson Tide taking on the Florida Gators yesterday. Of course, that went to Florida. How are you, Wes?
Doing good. Good to be here at Baumhower.
Oh, it's great to be here at Baumhower's.
Feed the depression.
And there's a lot to get into. And coming up in hour number 2, Wimp Sanderson going to join us here at Baumhower's. Bobby Lee Hurt going to be here. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Talk to Bobby Lee
They have
Hurt.
enough chicken in the back. Last time he's here, he ate 4.
Oh, my goodness.
He ate for 2 hours straight.
I wish our first guest was here at Baumhower's because we'd feed him too. Chances are he could not throw down like Bobby Lee Hurt, though.
No,
I'm guessing. Chris Lowe, I bet you've never gotten an introduction quite like that. CeeLo, how you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing great, guys. Good to be with you.
Likewise, it's always fun to talk some college football this time of year in particular, and there's a lot of unknowns, honestly. But I do wonder from your perspective of talking with coaches, is it as chaotic as it has been over the last couple of years? What are you hearing from coaches right now, Chris?
There's still a lot of movement. I mean, when you look at the players coming and going, the portal additions, and I think the staffs too. The thing that has jumped out to me is everyone's going to hire a general manager now because that's just where we are. You know, you're looking at portal players and who's done what, how much you're going to pay guys. So that's going to be the popular thing going forward. And analysts, look at all the analysts that have been hired in the league the last couple of years: senior offensive analysts, senior defensive analysts, guys that are quote unquote personnel directors at different schools. So it's just a completely the sport in itself and the infrastructure, I guess is the best way to say it, of all these different programs are just so much different. But I think it's going to continue to be a bit chaotic for teams, as every year it's going to look a little bit different. You know, you're going to have different faces plugging in different players at different positions, and the spring, as we're in right now, and the summer months are especially critical as you get to know your new teammates, as coaches get to know new players, and as I said, you know, you got a lot of new faces and you know, big roles coming in. You take Alabama, for instance. Ryan Grubb comes in as OC. Brent Venables is going to call defense himself at Oklahoma. So there's a lot of changes across the league. New, as I said, new faces, not only players but coaches. So the spring to me is always pretty intriguing. I'm not a big spring game fan. I think spring games have probably worn out their welcome, and some teams aren't playing them. But the spring itself, spring practice, when you get a look at some of your new freshmen, your transfers, you have coaches coming in, putting in their stamp on the team, defensive and offensive coordinators. I think that part of spring practice is what I like best.
So are you surprised that Alabama basically has 2 offensive coordinators now? I mean, to me, I've never seen where that ever worked.
Well, there seems to have like co-coordinators and offensive coordinators. Grubb's going to call the plays. And that was, you know, he would have been the guy initially had he not gone back and got a shot in the NFL. I know Kalen is close to both those gentlemen, you know, Nick Sheridan and Grubb, but his ability, I should say, the opportunity to get Grubb, he wasn't going to pass that up and bring him back. And likewise, he wasn't, you know, he didn't want to send Sheridan packing. He felt like he certainly was important. You know, the whole deal at play calling, because you talk to head coaches who've done it themselves, who've passed on those duties, who take on those duties after they've been somewhere a while. Maybe it's not working out the way they want to, so they take it over. It's a little bit overrated because you put the game plan in during the week. And even now, you talk to people in the NFL, some guys have first and second down pass duties, call a play. Some guys have goal line duties. Sometimes the head coach inside the last 2 minutes of the half, or if it gets in the last 3 minutes of the game and you got to go hurry up or go quick, you know, they'll take it over. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. Sometimes you change it up during the season. But I can tell you this, you know, Kalen DeBoer has a lot of confidence in both those guys, and certainly has a lot of confidence in Ryan Grubb. Because remember, Grubb was the guy that Saban wanted. Go
That's
back
right.
to when Nick was trying to hire an offensive coordinator, I guess going into his last year. That was
right before, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was going into Nick's final season. Tommy Reese ended up being the coordinator coming in from Notre Dame. But the first guy he wanted, the guy he brought to campus and offered the job, was Ryan Grubb. And Grubb decided to stay, went back and talked to some other guys and ended up hiring Tommy Reese as the OC. But so this is not the first time, even though different regime, obviously, that Ryan Grubb has been courted by Alabama's football program.
And he answered that question, by the way, yesterday, Chris. And the chance to stay with Michael Penix there at Washington was just too much. At least that's what Ryan told the media yesterday, to stay there in the system that he already knew. And he thought it would be a special season, and it was, quite frankly, there for Washington.
Well, yeah, I mean, they got to the national championship game, and Penix broke records and had just an incredible season. So, yeah, I think it's it's always nice to be wanted, but sometimes you got to sort of take a step back and, hey, what's right for me right now? What's right for my career, my family? We got a good thing going. We got an experienced quarterback coming back like they did that year with Penix. And I'd say he probably did make the right decision.
So you say that that some teams have people that make the goal line calls. In Texas, they need to put in the push. I need to be the 1 yard line coach.
Yeah, I'd say that they'd probably agree with you right now. Given what happened last year. Sometimes coaches out, not just Texas, they outthink themselves. I mean, you go back to pros. I mean, you go back to some of the Super Bowl. I think the Super Bowls, playoff games, where guys just sort of want to get too creative. Outthink themselves, and a lot of times, obviously, hindsight's 20/20. But I think more and more when you have the ability to line up and knock people off the ball, and you got to commit to doing that. It doesn't just always happen. It doesn't just happen. You got to be able to recruit to that. That's got to be your mentality. Every day you go on the practice field, and you got to commit to doing it. And more now, I used to drive me crazy, and it still does. When you need an inch, or you need 4 inches, or you need half a yard, and you still line up in the shotgun. Some teams aren't doing that.
Drives me nuts. Only the teams that I'm pulling for.
Yeah, more teams do it than not, but you have seen more teams go back to the traditional under center, especially if you got a big physical quarterback, and you're able to use him in the run game.
But when I see these guys on the goal line, they don't even fire off. Like, you watch Philadelphia, how low they go. That's the key to getting a first down. Having played center, I realized that, and I used to get mad when we'd run it outside or something. To me, it's the easiest, straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do
certainly the most direct path.
Yes, it's so easy. I don't understand. It's like these teams are outthinking themselves, and that's one of my huge pet peeves when I watch games. And they're in the shotgun, they're on the 2-inch line, and there's more bad things that could happen in those scenarios.
So Chris, one area I wanted to go with you is we had John Cohen on last week, the athletic director at Auburn University, and Wes, there is one big storyline that we've been covering for a while around this sport is how many games is too many games? How many games is too many games? Well, we asked that to John Cohen last week, and he pivoted of, they're getting paid now. And it was, I thought, a pretty, I didn't really grasp around that. But is this idea of too many games kind of gone by the wayside because they are now getting paid, Chris?
That's a fair point. John makes a fair point. And I, as I said earlier, we're talking about the sport change in the landscape. It has a ton. And, how many times, let me ask you a question. How many times recently in the last 2 to 4 years have you heard the word student athlete, or have you heard the word well-being of the student athlete? You don't hear that.
That's gone by the wayside.
Yeah, gone.
Because it's always been a business. Come on. I mean, we're all sticking our heads in the sand. We don't think players have been getting paid for a long time under the table, because they have everywhere. I love how in the SEC, and I've cut, like you guys, cut my teeth on the SEC. I love how everybody in the SEC over the last 20 years pointed the finger at everybody else. Everybody else is cheating, but us. We're the only ones not cheating. Never mind, you got all these players going to the NFL that everybody in the country is recruiting. But now that we're in legal cheating, NIL, quote NIL, or pay for play.
Chris, I'm gonna disagree with you. What they're doing now is against the rules. They're just skating the rules. The NIL that they're doing right now is totally against the rules. They're not doing true NIL.
This
right?
is recruiting NIL.
This is just giving the players money, right?
My question
NIL's name, image, and likeness. It has nothing to do with what's
what
going on.
someone has earned.
Tell me
Right.
what the rules are. What are the rules? Tell me what
Yeah,
the rules are. So I'll agree or disagree.
Right. Well, it's not. The NIL is not what it's supposed to be. I mean, it's not.
But there are no rules. I mean, there's no, and that's what you guys asked me earlier about the chaos.
Yeah,
that's why we are where we are. They kicked this issue. The NCAA, the leaders, college football leaders, they kicked this issue down the road for a decade or more, thinking it would just go away. Well, it was never going to just go away, and now here it is. But no, I agree. I think it is pay for play. Now, NIL is maybe the word that people use for it, but back to your original question, I do think there's going to be more scrutiny than ever on players, because even though it's not out there what the real numbers are, that this player's making this much or this player's making that much, some of the reports are out there, and I think we all know that the going rate for a good quarterback now is over $1 million. Pass rushers, big-time receivers. And you see kids, you sit all over the place now where they'll leverage one school. Hey, I'm going to jump in the portal, and that's what I want to do. And then they come back. Well, they come back because they got a better deal. Or excuse me, the school they were at sweetened their deal.
Yeah.
Well, there are reports out there at all places like that. I've heard stories of players say, hey, listen, I'll come back, but you need to write this, this, and this in my new deal. Some of it involves maybe switching positions or so many targets they want as a receiver. So with all that out there, long story short, the scrutiny that some of these kids are going to face are going to be more intense than anything they've ever faced before. And people, fans, media, people close to the program, people who contribute a lot of this money are going to call kids out more than ever. Hey, this kid's getting paid $1.5 million and he can't make a yard on third and one, or this left tackle's getting paid $1 million and he got beat for 4 sacks in this game. That's coming. We've already started to hear a little bit of that. We're going to hear a lot more of it going forward. And is that right or wrong? I'm not saying it is right or wrong. I'm just saying that's the reality of it going forward. And as far as playing games, what's too many games? I mean, now the way it's set up, let's use Alabama. Alabama goes to the SEC championship game and loses. That's their 13th game, right? Then they would have to play 4 more games in the current setup to win the national title. So potentially you could have to play 17 games to win a national title. That is a long season.
Yeah.
But as John said, kids are getting paid. Coaches have been getting paid for a long time. Outrageous sums of money.
Yeah.
To coach football. But they've got contracts. If you can get fired. If I want to leave Alabama and go to Oregon, or if I want to go to Notre Dame, I might have to pay $30 million in a buyout. The hard part right now with players is there are no contracts. You can play 4 different schools if you want to. There's unlimited free agency, which I think that's the part that has to get fixed. Is there's got to be something in there. I'm not holding my breath that Congress is going to fix it, but whether it's some form of collective bargaining, which would make these players employees, they already are, but at least that if this kid comes to your school, he's going to have to play at least 2 years. You're going to have to re-recruit him every year. I think that's the headache for everybody involved with the program. But yeah, it's chaotic, and I've told you guys multiple times we've had this conversation. It's not just going to go away overnight.
Oh, it isn't, and Mr. Cohen, Auburn's athletic director, says that they have a plan to reel it back, to will it to where that there are that NIL becomes true NIL, and then they're going to, have a portion of the money go to they'll all have the same budget.
Is it
Yes.
believed that we are going to have a roster cap of 105 when we're done with the spring, Chris?
Yeah, well, I'm sure John is referring to the house settlement.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Revenue sharing model, which is supposed to be, you could go up to $20.5 million, I think, with each school, if you opt in, which then you sort of decide, how much is football is going to get, basketball, all the other sports. And, I think the Title IX question comes into play there. There are going to be a lot more court cases involving Title IX on both sides. So I don't know. And then if that does, let's say that does hold and it's not challenged or shot down, or there's not, 100 more court cases, legal battles, then what are collectives' roles then? Can you then, to your question about name, image, and likeness, can the largest car dealership in Birmingham, bring in, Ty Simpson or Deontay Lawson and say, hey, we want you to be our official spokesperson. We want you to come in so many times a week and take pictures and sign autographs. So we're going to pay you, $1,000, or $5,000 every time you come. I mean, I think those types of opportunities for players theoretically could also exist over and above what the revenue sharing plan is, that is, again, funded by schools.
Yeah, but the point he made that's true NIL, what you just mentioned then.
Mm-hmm.
Going
Right.
Yeah. But what they're doing now is just giving them money, and they go to the hospital 3 times, and the school pays them. That's going to go away. That's what he was.
Well, the school will be funding the new revenue sharing model.
Yes, but everybody will have the same amount on that revenue. Kids won't have to do anything for that. They just play football for that. But there'll still be NIL opportunities as well.
Mm-hmm. Right, but what's
true
NIL?
NIL.
Yeah, but what's going to keep other schools from figuring out ways? Hey, we're going to supplement what we're paying a quarterback by another $1 million, wink, wink, so he can show up at the car dealership a couple times a week. So there's going to probably be ways around it. How do you police it? I mean, there's just a lot of unknowns right now, and I still think when it's all said and done, that once we get into this house settlement revenue sharing model, there's still going to be a lot of people who are fighting different. For instance, I'll give you one that a lot of people haven't thought about, over and above the Title IX questions. So let's use Arch Manning, okay? And he's already cashing in at a high level. That he goes in, I'm not saying Arch would do this, but let's just, he's a high-profile quarterback, big name. Everybody knows who he is. He goes in next year and just plays. Of course, if he plays lights out, he's going to the NFL because that'll be his 3rd year. But or DJ Lagway's maybe a better example because he's in his 2nd year. So he goes and plays lights out next year, and then the house settlement passes, and they say, well, we got $20 million. Everybody's got $20 million. We got $20 million. Well, DJ, we can only pay you $1.75 million. We're going to pay because we got to pay this much more to the rest of our team. We also got to pay because of Title IX. We got to do this, this, and this. And he's like, wait a minute, that's not fair. You're capping. What you're doing is you're capping what I can earn. So I'm going to sue you. I'm going to take you to court. I'm worth $4.5 million. You don't think some of those legal fights are coming?
Yeah, this is why we need Congress to step in. And
don't hold your breath, Steve. Don't hold your breath.
But I was, at least in what Shane Beamer had to say to that committee on Tuesday, kind of lines up with a lot of what coaches have been telling us, and I'm sure you too, Chris.
Oh yeah, no, I think I think a lot of what you hear out there. I'm not saying that it's not sound reasoning, but I just maybe I'm ye of little faith. I don't know that will be something, that particular problem will be something at the forefront of Congress being able to fix it. Again, I'll be wrong. I'll be wrong again. We'll see. But I think it's the sport. It was a great. The sport's been great. It was great on the season last year. I love college football. I know you guys do too. A lot of I'm glad to see more teams get a chance to play. They're going to be even more going forward. I think by 26 we'll see 14 or 16 in the playoffs. But no, everyone's still not going to be happy. The 17th and 18th and 19th team are going to swear they should be in there.
Yep.
But the usual suspects are still going to win it. You know, I don't think it's going to be like basketball. I still think that the teams that recruit the best, have the most resources, best coaching staffs, you know, are going to still win. But it's cool to see different teams in there to at least get a chance. I also love the fact that we're in a postseason format now in college football where we get to see games played on campuses.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, for me, that's the fabric of college football. It's Penn State playing at Alabama. It's Georgia playing at Notre Dame. You know, Ohio State playing at Florida.
Yeah.
That is what makes college football those tight. And I'd like to see more than just the first round play. Maybe you get to the last two rounds, you know, the semis and the finals, and you play those on neutral sites or bowl games. But I'd love to see more than just one round played on college campuses.
I'm 100%
any
for that, Chris. 100%.
Any chance that the seating for this year will get modified, Chris?
They're discussing it. I think it's right now, and the people I've talked to say that it's going to be 50-50. They got to get a unanimous vote, which is 11 people on that committee to do that. And remember, some of these are group of 5 representatives.
That's right.
Representatives from the Big 12. Certainly the SEC, certainly the Big 10 would want to do that. So I don't know. It might be hard, but I know there's been some real hard and lengthy discussions about how to fix that to where the 4 seeds, the top 4 seeds that get buys, are truly what's the definition of truly are the 4 best teams. I think most people would agree last year that the top 4 seeds, as far as the seeds that got buys, were not necessarily the 4 best teams. And I think that's
there's no question.
None of them won either. So
not a team won.
Let's get to a point to where those teams that win championships get in the tournament and have a shot. But the ones that are the best 4 teams, based on who they played, what league they played in, who they beat, those should be the top 4 seeds to get buys.
Chris, you're the best. You making the tour like you usually do, or I know the spring feels a bit different. I know I read the previews on ESPN.com with yourself and Schleybaugh. Are you making the tour through the SEC this spring?
Yeah, I'm going to go some places. I don't know that I'll get everywhere. I know I'll be at both Alabama and Auburn at some point, and a few other places. Maybe try to get out of the SEC. Clemson's a place I want to go to. I think Dabo will have his best team he's had at Clemson probably since that run from 15 to 19 when they won 2 titles and played in another game. I think this team has a chance to be really good. So I want to get down through there and watch them practice and talk to Dabo and some of the guys on that staff.
You mentioned about those teams that we don't normally cover. It was really cool to see Arizona State get on a heater and see a kid like Scadaboo and see what he did there in the Peach Bowl against Texas. So it is nice to have a broader base to pull from and follow those storylines. Chris, I can't thank you enough for hopping on.
Okay, guys. Good catching up. It's always good talking football.
Absolutely. Always is. It's always time to save a little money too, right? I mean, it's never not a good time to save some money, right?
And he has an IRS form.
Wow.
He's really going to save some money now.
But Philip Love here from Eagle Masonry and Insulation.
How you guys doing?
Been a while.
It has been a while.
War Eagle to you, sir.
Thank you. It's been a good year. I haven't come on because every time I come on, we have some bad luck.
So this is right before the IBOB down at Auburn.
I invited him.
Do the Denver Jones sighting down there. We'll be fine, hopefully. We need him bad. But I had to bring notes today. My sales guy, Mike, sales manager, said, hey, make sure you talk about these things, and gave me a whole list of stuff to talk about. So I got to write it down.
So, all right.
So how are you going to save us money today?
So two programs that are actually out there. We always talk about saving money with, getting some insulation in your attic to save you in the wintertime and the summertime, all that. So that'll always work on your power bill. But there's two programs going on that have been going on, and we've been a participant, but probably haven't advertised as well as we should. One of them is through Huntsville Utilities/TVA. It's a TVA Energy Right insulation program. You have to be a licensed provider through them, so you got to go through the process, which we have done with TVA for years. But you basically, they'll give you $500 back if you get your attic up to R38, which is 13 inches of insulation. So go up in your attic, you got 8 or 9 inches, you need to get to 13, but you do that, and TVA is going to cut you a check for $500. We'll do all the paperwork for you. You just simply, when we come out to give you a quote, we usually say, hey, would you like to be involved in this program? We can get you signed up, and we'll get it all through TVA, and then TVA is going to send you a check after they say, hey, did you do this work? We say yes. Boom.
So we figured out what it was 9 to 10 months, but 100% a year when you upgrade save on your utility bill.
That's right.
So now you're getting $500. Have y'all figured out what now you're getting $500? I guess it depends on the square
It depends on the size of your house,
yeah.
really. But I mean, most of these attic blows, you're probably between $800 and $1,200 to do for an average size house. So, you almost get half of that back from TVA before you even start. And then
it just makes it even better.
Cuts it in half. Yeah, you're talking 5-6 months on your power bill. The other thing that it's been going on for years, and the IRS actually I thought was going to get rid of it, but they renewed it in January, is the energy efficient home improvement credit. You get it, you do your windows, your doors, HVAC system, insulation. A lot of those things are limited, but insulation is 100% up to $1,200. So if you spent $1,200, we'll give you a receipt. You just basically say, hey, I'm doing my taxes. Can you give me a receipt that I paid? Gladly, we'll do that. Send that to you, put it in with your taxes, and you get, up to $1,200. So,
oh, wow.
So that's going through 2032. So it was supposed to expire in 24, but they pushed it out. So two good ways for save a little money, do that.
So basically to pay for the whole thing.
Absolutely, yeah. So we can provide all the information. Just you call and ask us, give us a quote. We'll give you, appoint you. I'm sitting here, like you said, looking at the IRS document I printed out. Took me 5 minutes today, so I know exactly where to send you. So we'll get it. And you can, save some money on your taxes and get a rebate from TVA.
Yeah, and save on your utility bill.
That's right. Absolutely.
That's
awesome. 256.
It's a no-brainer there.
That's right.
256-755-1556. Or if you're driving right now, insulatewitheagle.com.
That's correct. Yeah, you go in there, click on the contact us. We'll shoot us an email. We'll give you a call.
That's efficient. That's well insulated right there.
You don't pay up front, do you?
We don't. You gotta get us paid, and we'll get you paid. How about that? At the end of the day, my family likes to eat too.
Insulatewitheagle.com. I've used them. Wes has used them.
Yeah,
I mean,
for a lot of things.
Yeah, for a lot of things.
Outdoor fireplaces. Yeah, everything.
That's right.
Stone. Doing a lot of landscape work now. We've really jumped into that. The after paint, shelving, closet doors.
Well, it's spring, so the lawnmowers are getting tuned up.
If you build a house and you want to make it easy, call Eagle Masonry and Insulation.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, the masonry throws me off every time.
There's no D in there, Wes. No D.
I was waiting for that.
But I mean, listen, you got something we don't advertise we can do. Just ask us if we can do it, and we try to find somebody. That's how we've gotten in these other business. I mean, we're doing blinds now. Yeah, blinds on your windows. So some builder asked us to do it, so we do it. So you got a need, we can try to fix it.
And I am thinking about yard work. I mean, everybody's prepping for that already.
Right. Absolutely. So we can get you taken care of.
And again, insulatewitheagle.com is the website. 256-755-1556 is the phone number. But I mean, you're prepped and ready. I'm loving every minute of it.
I had to.
We'll see whether or not Auburn's prepped and ready on Saturday.
Yeah, Wes and I'll see it up close and personal.
Yes.
I'm a little nervous.
You don't need to be nervous.
Your winning percentage with Wes is pretty high.
Pretty good. Yeah. What, 6-1, I think. That's pretty good. 7-1. That'd be nice.
If I try not to go, I think they still come get me.
That's right. Listen, hey, and here's the deal, Wes. If you can help us out, since we're at Baumhower's, I'm sure they have it at Alabama, at Auburn they have it. The opposing team misses 2 free throws in a row. in the second half, free gooey fries. So
Oh,
if you,
yeah.
if you get your guys to miss 2 free
Yeah, I don't
throws,
think that's gonna be
I'll
a
buy you
problem.
dinner
Yeah.
and we'll get you some gooey fries for free.
I don't think. Yeah. There you go.
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Philip, I appreciate your flexibility, sir, and
absolutely
always enjoy seeing you.
Good seeing
This
you
is
guys.
awesome
Take
deal.
care.
Awesome
Yeah,
deal.
please do it. Give us a call. We can help you out, and I'll see you Saturday, brother.
Sounds good.
All right.
Bottom line is, if you want to save some money, go to insulatewitheagle.com, and they will save you some money.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and take our first time out. Bobby Lee Hurt is scheduled to be with us, as is Wimp Sanderson and Drudy Armand. So we are just getting out of the starting gate there with Chris Lowe, and we'll be right back here at Baumhower.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I'm here to tell you it's truck month. No payments for 90 days on 24 and 25 models of F-150, Ranger, Maverick, Super Duty, and Lightning. We've got over 220 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Great deals on Bronco, Bronco Sport, Expedition, and Explorer 2. Come check those out. But right now at Woody Anderson Ford, you can drive a 2024 F-150 XLT Hybrid for as little as $339 a month. $339 for an F-150. That's a 36-month lease with 6448 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. This offer ends 3/31/25. Call us at 539-9441 for complete details. Over 220 F-150s and nearly 50 Rangers and Maverick pickups to choose from, all with great sales incentives and 0 payments for 90 days. Woody Anderson Ford, we hope to see you soon.
Tom Abraham here for the Spring Home and Garden Show presented by the Huntsville Madison County Builders Association, March 7th, 8th, and 9th at the Von Braun Center South Hall. And not only will you find celebrity guests, a family fun zone for the kids, and some great ideas and products for the home, you'll also find the Tom Abraham Show on location Friday at the Owen Home Appliance Center booth from noon to 2 on Friday, March 7th to help kick off the weekend. We'll see you at the Spring Home and Garden Show at the VBC. The Spring Home and Garden Show, March 7th through 9th.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
You guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at WoodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
That'll put you in a football mood right there. Back here at Baumhower's. It's bustling at Baumhower's as we're waiting on Bobby Lee Hurt to show up. He told me 5:30-ish. This is definitely the ish of 5:30-ish.
He might have had to borrow Haas's battery again.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Ryan Grubb had this to say on all three quarterbacks in Tuscaloosa.
A lot of things. I think that they each, just like any quarterback, have their own individual, strengths and weaknesses. And I think, Ty has done a good job. I thought he had the biggest jump from day one to day two, just as far as like being able to take in all the information, process quickly and move. Austin's done a really good job of showing command for a young player. And then Keelan is awesome, man. He's very unflappable. And, even when things don't go right, and they invariably will for a freshman quarterback, I think he's done an awesome job just kind of staying the course and being very steady. So, and he can make a lot of plays.
That is Ryan Grubb yesterday talking to the media. There was also one other comment that he made about Keelan Russell. He was comparing him a little bit to, Michael Penix. And so a lot of people have run with that.
I mean, the guy's an athlete. There's no question.
Yeah.
And I think given time, he'll be a great player.
Well, here you go. You might like this. How about play calling style there, Coach? This is Ryan Grubb.
How would you describe yourself as a play caller and just your style?
Aggressive. I want to be aggressive. I want guys to, I think that when it works the best, the understanding that the players have that we got to be responsible with the football, not go backwards, make sure we're always matriculating the ball down the field, but then being ready for opportunity to take the shot.
How about that? A little matriculation?
Yeah.
How about a little Hank Scram action?
Yeah, there you go.
How about a little Hank Scram action?
Yeah.
A little matriculation.
Got my tissue there.
But aggressive as well. I'm sure most fans would enjoy to hear that really from any offensive coordinator, but let alone the of your team. So I'll tell you what, since we are in the ish part of the 5:30, let's go ahead and take our final time out and walk you up to the top of the hour. We're live here from Baumhower's Victory Grill. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I'm here to tell you it's truck month. No payments for 90 days on 24 and 25 models of F-150, Ranger, Maverick, Super Duty, and Lightning. We've got over 220 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Great deals on Bronco, Bronco Sport, Expedition, and Explorer 2. Come check those out. But right now at Woody Anderson Ford, you can drive a 2024 F-150 XLT Hybrid for as little as $339 a month. $339 for an F-150. That's a 36-month lease with 6448 do-it signing, zero security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. This offer ends 3/31/25. Call us at 539-9441 for complete details. Over 220 F-150s and nearly 50 Rangers and Maverick pickups to choose from, all with great sales incentives and zero payments for 90 days. Woody Anderson Ford, we hope to see you soon.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
There is power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
It's an amazing time in our industry.
Things are changing so rapidly. With digital signatures and workflow software, we help our customers work from anywhere. This helps you save time and money and upgrade your technology. Like I said, it's an amazing time to watch our customers grow and succeed.
It's laundry season at Owen Home Appliance Center. Tired of that washer walking out the door and having to dry a load 2 or 3 times? It's time for a new washer and dryer. Pick from brands like Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Electrolux, and of course, Speed Queen. Try the new 2-in-1 GE Profile that washes and dries a load all in one machine. Visit the interactive location in Lacey Springs where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another chilly night across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures drop into the mid-30s. A mostly cloudy sky for your Friday. We are going to be a little bit warmer. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-60s, dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight early into your Saturday. A mostly cloudy sky Saturday afternoon. Some scattered showers are going to be in the forecast, but once again, temperatures climbing into the lower 60s, dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s through the overnight early Sunday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Attention, attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
Oriental City, the city don't know what the city is. The creme de la creme of the chess world, the show with everything but Yul Brynner. Time flies, doesn't seem a minute since the Tyrolean spa had the chess bars in it. All change, don't you know that when you play at this level, there's no ordinary venue. It's Iceland, or the Philippines, or Hastings, or this place.
Back here at Baumhower's Victory Grill, they have a Slam Dunk Madness booklet here. It's got the crowd pleasers, the Hollywood wings as well, including buttermilk fried chicken tenders. That's got John Abraham written all over it. The gooey charred grilled chicken sandwich, Drudy Armand. That's got Drudy Armand written all over it. The chips, cheese, and salsa is real. If you're bringing your family here, that is the go-to right out of the gate. Comes in this big basket and is just fantastic and feeds everybody. We're walking you up to Alabama women's basketball tonight. The SEC women's basketball tournament started yesterday. Alabama taking on Florida, hoping for a different result than playing some other team from Florida last night. And a lot of those 50-50 balls on the men's side, it looked like one team was just a hair quicker than another team.
Alabama looked to me like they're a little out of sync. They look tired. This is just the way I looked at it. They looked tired and couldn't get the Florida just dominated the offensive boards, and that hasn't happened in a long time. And you look at that Tennessee game, and that Tennessee game, they're going to look back on that was one. They played the toughest 7 games that I've ever seen, and they look like it. So maybe they can regroup for Auburn.
Yeah, that's an easy cure. Let's take on Auburn.
Yeah, the best team in the country.
And they're coming off of an L, so I'm sure they won't be locked in and focused either.
Exactly. And so
by the way, you can hear that game coming up on Saturday, pregame at 12:30, and tip off a little after 1:30. Right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Incidentally, also coming up on Saturday, It's semifinal Saturday in the Gulf South Conference, and we'll have coverage of both the men and women. The women's game tips at 2:15, and so the reason that game will be heard over on our .2 channel, HD.2. That's Talk Radio WZZN, which right now has the Will Kane show on right now from Fox News Radio. And that leads right into Bill O'Reilly that you can hear every weekday at 6 o'clock over on our HD.2 channel. And also on Saturday, tipping at 5 o'clock is the UAH men. They've won 28 games in a row. That is the longest winning streak in all of college basketball currently. They're taking on Delta State as the okra. I don't know. I'm not. Is there fried okra on the menu here? There should be, but we'll hopefully fry some okra Saturday night down there at the Pete Hanna Center. 5 o'clock for that tip-off, and then that'll lead into we've got a lot of basketball here over the next 3 weeks. But Saturday night is the Ohio Valley Championship, and then Sunday is the Big South Conference Championship game, followed by the Missouri Conference Championship game. These are all on the men's side. We will have the SEC Women's Basketball Championship game Sunday afternoon as well. But if the Chargers do make it to Sunday, we will have that game for you, both the men and women. So not just isolated to the men's side, as it does look like both teams are going to go dancing, which is a big deal in year one for Coach Sharp there for the women's team, and certainly for Coach Mick Hedspeth there for the Chargers.
Obviously done an incredible job.
28 in a row.
What makes him, what has caused this? What in your mind, Steve?
There was a lot of expected off of this team, and it kind of ended with a thud last year because really everybody knew John Schulman was going to Central Arkansas. When we all hopped on a plane, he just decided to tell the team after the game itself. But anyway, there was a lot of expected. I really only lost one player from last year's squad, and that was Jack Costal, who's now a member of UTC. Bobby Lee Hertz strolling on in here. You pick, sir. You please, you pick. It is great to see you. And Bobby Lee Hurt will be kind enough here to join us here momentarily. Talk a little basketball with him. Now, I do have a surprise for you. If you can stick around. Hang on, let me try to. You're good. You're good. How are you, Bobby Lee?
I'm great, man. Glad to be here, man. I tell you.
So coming up at the top of the hour, Wimp Sanderson is going to join us.
Oh man.
Is this going to be a quick shot? I just boy, what do you think about this basketball season here for Alabama?
Oh man, it's definitely exciting. Now we've been playing so great, man. But in the last 2 or 3 games, man, we
look tired, don't we, Bobby Lee?
We look tired, man. We really do. It's just 2 or 3 weeks ago, man, we was great. And 12th end of the season, man, we need to show them, man. And just go down and beat those Eagles. War Eagles.
Just that simple, right?
Yeah, that's simple, man. Yeah, just get our minimum going back and all of that.
Auburn's defense has really impressed me a good bit this year.
Yeah, Auburn's great. I tell you, their defense. Coach Pearl's doing a great job with them, man. He's doing great coach, man.
So when you watch them, Bobby Lee, what do you see? What the defense is? That's what I would. First time I watched them, I was taken aback against I guess Iowa State beginning of the year when they came back and beat them in the second half. That was the best I'd ever seen any defense play.
I think we're lacking a lot on defense. We're not just playing.
You're talking about Alabama?
Right, yes.
Yeah,
We're lacking on defense. We're giving up too many offensive rebounds. That's killing us. Turnovers, points off turnovers.
Well, to that point, just the conference as a whole, though, this is – so I kind of grew up in kind of the heyday of the Big East. This feels like Big East basketball to me this year in the SEC, Bobby Lee.
Well, the SEC has always been a tough conference, especially this year. I think we had Probably 6 SEC teams in the top 10, top 15, man. It's great, man. Tennessee's done a great job. Florida, you know, of course, Alabama, Auburn. It's been tough. ACC is a very tough conference.
I mean, I'm telling you, the conference tournament next week, that should just be a knockdown, drag out.
Oh, you know, it can go either way. You know, it just, you know, whatever team plays the best that night.
Probably should have started by congratulating you, member of the Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame. And
Right.
I know that's coming up as well.
Right, yes. It's a great honor, man. It's a great honor. You know, even be connected with a lot of guys that were just put into the Alabama Hall of Fame, Sport Hall of Fame. It's great. It's a great privilege. I want to thank the committee, you know, for putting me in. You know?
Yeah.
Well, you deserve to be in, Bobby Lee.
Well, thank you, man.
No question.
You know, I tell people it's kind of a joke. You know, I tell people it's kind of like Sam Cooke. He put a song out there. It's a long time coming.
So you've been expecting it.
I've been expecting, you know, people. I see people all the time. They're like, "You're not in the Hall of Fame yet," you know. I'm a humble guy, you know. So I figure, hey, sooner or later. So.
We get Enos Watley on a good bit.
Oh, do you know Edamo show?
And Edamo was last time we had him on. He mentioned how hot he had to throw the ball to you in order to be it in your zone.
Oh yes, oh man! I remember one play. I think I was jumping center, you know, and I tipped it and had a play set up for the design that somebody come and pick my defensive guy. I just rolled toward the basket, man. The Indians threw it up so high, like top of the square, you know. And I had to go get it.
Top of the square?
Oh yeah, believe me, yes. You know, when I brought it home,
I'd still be looking at it.
Yeah, man, I would love to see. Now, Wimp has all the tape, man. I tell you, Coach, he got them all, man. Coach got them all.
But when did the jumping ability start for you? I mean, when did you know you could do and be an elite player? How early was it for you?
Probably like middle school.
Okay.
You know, middle school, yeah. We're going to West Lawn, you know, and I was jumping, you know. And I remember Coach Grille and Coach Roof. I walked to the gym at West Lawn, you know, and I was jumping up, you know, touching things. Like, oh, he can jump.
So you're doing it just for fun.
Oh, just for fun. You see how high I can get, you know.
Just you do it.
Well, yeah, right. Yes.
Did you have any of those? Because so there was something that one of my coaches bought for me. It was these platform shoes that had this, so to work out your calves, and there was thought of that would help you jump higher. You know what I'm talking about?
Well,
those shoes
I know
with
about, but I never needed that, though. I had like,
it obviously didn't work either.
No, it really didn't.
It was probably a waste of time.
Right. It was a gigantic waste of time and money.
I think Hoss had a pair of them.
There we go.
Hey, Hoss used to shoot the ball. He'd throw his gut out. And you couldn't get around it. He put the ball. Did he not shoot like this?
You 100%
he
right.
shoot like from his head. You couldn't do anything with it.
Couldn't have done it with it, man.
You couldn't get around it.
Couldn't get around it, I tell you.
How close were you with the football team back in the day?
Very.
What was that now?
How close were you with the football team?
Oh, very close.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's close enough where he could get to your battery.
Oh, yeah. There go that story, I think.
It's got a long legacy.
Oh, you know
that battery story.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. We got a lot of stores, man. A lot of stores.
Yeah. Can we hook you up with some wings, or are you hungry
I'm
here?
always with eat, man.
Yeah. Okay.
I love just wings, and wings is fine. Yes. Yes. Wings is fine.
So yes, the battery story. That is.
I did return it though. So.
Eventually, or
eventually, yes.
That was a funny story. You know, Bobby Lee would have. Everybody knew where Bobby Lee's room was. Because you know how Shaq gets up there and DJs?
Yeah.
He's copying Bobby Lee.
Really?
Bobby Lee would be DJing at the.
So these vinyl records, or is this
vinyl?
cassette?
Just
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
12-inch, man.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So he would be up there DJing,
spinning.
Yeah. And everybody on campus could hear it.
So you
if
had
you were
a
in the dorm-
subwoofer and you had all.
I had it all, man.
Right.
I was on the 1s and 2s, we call it. The 1s and 2s, the 2 turntables. 1,200 Technique turntables. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was DJ. I didn't know what he was doing. I had never heard that before when I first got there.
And a lot of people don't understand, man. The sound that you get out the vinyl is completely different than digital. You get the full quality sound from a disc.
Yes.
From the final record.
Do you still do that, Bobby?
All the time. Oh, I love it. Man, I still do it, man.
How big's the record collection?
Oh, probably about 10,000. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yes, man. I got a bunch of old school stuff. Man.
Okay.
Old school, yeah.
So you going 60s on me? You going? You mentioned Sam Cooke.
I can go 69.
So, what's your favorite era of music, Bobby Lee?
Oh man, probably like the 80s or something. 80s.
Really?
Yeah,
Back when we were at school.
Yeah, me and Rick James was hanging out there.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You know about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you actually hung out with Rick James?
Oh yeah. With Norby Walters, got on the trouble. One of the agents.
Yeah.
He invited everybody to New York to his birthday party. And I'm talking about Phyllis Hyman's, Rodney Dangerfield, Grandmaster Flash, Rick James.
Wow.
Oh man, it was great. We the one, man. We hung out, had a great time.
And where was this?
In New York.
Okay.
Yeah, New York,
Okay.
yes.
Was this like a party, like a planned party?
It was a birthday party for his agent.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. It was Asian, yes. Had a great time, man. Wonderful time, yes.
Wow.
Dance, party, good party time.
Wow. That sounds very memorable.
Oh, it does. Oh, a lot of memories, I tell you. I had the photos and kind of misplaced them, man. I would love to have them, man. I tell you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to have a picture with Rick James.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to change shirts after if you had your arm around him, though. Wouldn't you? He had that Jerry curl going.
Oh, you sure did? Yeah. Well, the only pictures with Touch Devil is Jim Neighbors. I still got me and Jim Neighbors picture,
Yeah.
in my house. Oh, man, it's crazy.
Wow.
A lot of fun.
Man, just to be on a fly on the wall in the neighborhoods that you've been bumping into, that is.
I've seen a lot of people, man. Been around a lot of people, I tell you. Really enjoyed it. It's good to see the world, man. I got to travel a lot.
So you played in Turkey. Where else did you play?
Turkey, Italy, Spain, Germany, Slovenia, France, everywhere, man.
Where was your favorite place?
Everybody asked me that question.
I know.
I'm a people person, so
Yeah.
So probably Barcelona or the islands. I was in Tenerife in the islands, so it was great.
All right, so I need you to stick around. I've got a 3-minute break here.
Okay.
Wimp Sanderson is set to join us on the other side, and I hope you're going to pepper your former coach.
Well, I got a bone to pick with Wimp also.
Do you really? Okay, so this could be interesting right here. And our man Jordy Armin is here with us as well, and we'll talk to Drew here momentarily. But Wimp Sanderson and Bobby Lee Hurt, mano y mano, coming up next.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at SensaGreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
is SportsCenter. I'm Nick DeLuca. The lead up to the new NFL league year not slowing down, with the Bengals focused on deals with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Star pass rusher Trey Hendrickson is getting permission to seek a trade, coming off a career year where he led the league in sacks with 17.5, was a first-team All-Pro and a Pro Bowler for a fourth consecutive year. He's third in the NFL in sacks since 2021, only behind Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt. Hendrickson, entering the final year of his contract, will make just under $16 million in 2025. Hendrickson, one of the top edge rushers available. Joey Bosa will be looking for a new team, too. Five-time Pro Bowler, released by the Chargers yesterday, has struggled to stay healthy, but J.J. Watt thinks he's still got a lot left.
I believe he is still very effective as a situational pass rusher. I think that he probably prefers some of those less snaps as well. Just as the body goes, you want to still rush the passer at a high level, but not have to, do some of those grinder things down there in a 6 technique.
Watt on the Pat McAfee show. Elsewhere, the Commanders are bringing back Bobby Wagner, 10-time Pro Bowler, agreeing to a 1-year deal worth up to $9.5 million. He just finished his 13th year in the league. He's recorded triple-digit tackles in all 13 seasons. Meanwhile, lots of changes in Jacksonville. The Jaguars releasing tight end Evan Ingram, 2-time Pro Bowler, played in just 9 games around injury last season, had his best year in 2023 when he was just shy of 1,000 yards.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Friday. Sam Darnold to the Raiders, Aaron Rodgers retiring. I'll give you my bold free agent predictions before the start of the new league year. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Hour number 2 rolls along here from Baumhower's Victory Grill, along with Wes Neighbors. Steve Moulton back here with you. Jordy Arman sitting in with us. So is Bobby Lee Hurt, who's also sitting in with us and joining us right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach Wimp Sanderson is kind enough to join us. How are you, Coach?
I'm hanging in there. Good to talk to you.
Well, you got any good Bobby Lee Hurt stories for me, Coach?
Well, the program can't last that long. It takes forever to tell Bobby Lee Hurt stories. You might cut me off right in the middle of them.
He's laughing.
He's a heck of a player. He's a heck of a player and a heck of a kid. He was fun to coach. He always wanted to know how long practice was going to be. Most of the time you'd get mad at the guy that asked you that, but not him, because I knew he was going to practice hard.
How long was practice back in the day, Coach?
Well, it's not what in February and March. It wasn't very long. You'd be surprised. It's very short. And I'm sure he had a hot date. And he was in a hurry.
Well, he told me he had a bone to pick with you. So,
well, it's too late to pick it now. I've already nailed it.
Well, in recruiting Bobby Lee, what stood out in that process for you there, Coach?
Well, he wanted Gomer Powell was going to give him $8 an acre to cut a sugar cane. And he decided he was going to go with Gomer over in Hawaii and then bypass me. But I finally got his attention.
Bobby Lee, please.
Yeah, he was going to Hawaii. Yeah. I remember that.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Yeah, so.
Hey, good.
No, I was.
We got him in an old car over at the junkyard, but you couldn't even cross the street in it. It's so bad.
Oh man, I could not.
But it got me from A to B, so it's all right. It got me to practice.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I got you to practice, and you got you a hot date after.
There you
So,
He had to use Haas's battery though to get the hot day.
yeah, that's right. That battery didn't last long. If the phone rang, if the phone rang at that used car lot, you'd have to look under 6 cars to find a phone.
Oh man. Oh man, this is crazy.
Well, Bobby Lee, do you have any questions to your former coach?
No, I was just saying, yesterday we did the interview for the Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
And right in the middle of the interview, Coach Sanderson calls. After all the questions, and all that, then all the stuff we started talking about Jim Neighbors, and Bear Bryant, the call, and all that. Man, what's going on?
Yep. Well,
yeah, man, that was great.
Bobby Lee, I don't want to forget to congratulate him. I've already congratulated him once being in the Hall of Fame. He deserves to be in. He's not only a heck of a player, but he's a heck of a guy, heck of a kid back then, and a heck of a man now. So he's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Coach. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And you have a lot to do with that, man. You made me work, I tell you. But I always put some work for us. I love running and love working.
Yeah, you did. He didn't mind working. He was good at that. A good player, and we had a good basketball team. We beat UCLA out in Poly the year that the week that Coach Bryant passed away, and they were number 1 in the country. That was a big win for us. So it was great.
When were your hardest practices, Coach, to develop a team? At what point did you really want to test what you had, maybe going into a season or in the middle of a season?
We practiced fairly hard during the year. We would back off the day before the game a little bit, and we didn't really. When it got to late February and into March, we rested them. I thought live legs were the most important thing, and if you're live-legged, you got a better chance to do what you need to do, and that was big for us. And so, most people think, we just worked the fire out of them, and we did not do that. We gave them a chance to get their legs back under them and be rested and ready to go. We would have hard practices. We'd have a very short practice. We might sometimes go 45 minutes. Not very long. And if you told them you were going to go hard and quick, you got a lot more out of them.
We had a couple morning practices also.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
We got back like 5 or 6 o'clock. We watched the videos. Okay, then, all right.
Yeah. We had a couple of practices after a loss too.
Right, there you go.
Well, you got to earn that sleep, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's all right.
Well, what did you think of the Alabama-Florida game last night, Coach?
Well, Florida's an awfully good basketball team. Alabama struggled a little bit, turned the ball over a little bit, and then they got Florida had a lot of fast break baskets, which is not good. And anytime that you're like Alabama and you score 94 points and you still lose, it's something to be checked on your defense. But Alabama's got a good team. They'll be, in contention, for all of it, just like Auburn and all the rest of them will be. Not all the rest of them, but several of them will be. But Alabama is very good. It wasn't, Florida shoots the ball well. They've got good athletes. They out-rebounded Alabama. I think it was 50-35. And so it was a little bit better day or better night for Florida than it was Alabama. Alabama's still having a good year, and the year's not over.
So, I think one of the problems was, a lot of offensive rebounds. Man, we get second and third shots, man, it's killing us.
Yeah, they would throw the wild pass. They throw the wild pass back there in the very back of the big guys. They don't get they got a lot of the offensive rebounds, putbacks on missed shots, and they sort of took the 3-point line away from Alabama. Alabama wasn't able to score from the 3-point line the way they generally do. They made a little bit more of a half-court game out of it. Florida did. and I think that was certainly in Florida's favor.
Coach, does it look like Alabama might be? They looked tired last night to me. They just didn't look like they have that edge last night.
Yeah, I don't know whether they're tired or not. I have no idea, but I think you have to be very, very careful at the end of the season when you go into the tournament play that your team is, somewhat rested. You got to straighten out your mistakes that you make the night before. But I think if you can get your guys sharp and not be in a situation where they're playing tired or not defending the way they should, then you're in decent shape.
You certainly had a lot of success in tournament basketball, Coach. Did you like tournament basketball?
Well, I did when we won. Yeah. Oh,
So you liked it more than you didn't.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We had good runs in the SEC tournament and a couple of good. We had just never could get quite past the first two games. We had really good tough draws. We were 9s and 10 seeds a lot, and that's hard. And we had to play the national champions a couple of times, but our kids played hard most of the time, and I enjoyed the guys that we had. We had so many kids from Alabama. I felt like that was the best way to go if we could get good players from the state. If you had seen them play in high school, you were more likely to come and watch them play in college and give us a home court advantage. So our guys did well, and I keep up with most of them, they've all made something out of themselves. We put them through tough times, but I think when you're going through tough times, you don't really like that part of it. But once you get past those tough times and look back at it, I think that you appreciate it that they worked that hard. So I had a lot of guys that played beyond college that said that they were glad that they did have to go through those tough times. It made them a little bit better.
Right. We had a great run, yes. Like Coach said, we've had some heartbreakers for North Carolina game, if you remember that one, man.
Yeah.
We definitely got some home cooking up there, I'll tell you.
Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Pretty tough, no doubt about it.
So Bobby Lee, are you vouching for that just what your coach was talking about right there?
He's 100% right, yes. I got to give him credit again. He's
I'm trying to get him to talk good about you there, Coach.
Well, he's the kind of guy that when you got a kid that's going to work hard. He was a kid back then.
Yeah,
you got a kid that's going to work hard for you. You can appreciate that more than anything of somebody that doesn't really give it their all. And everybody's going to make mistakes. Somebody's not going to play as well as you like for him to play, but he was one of these kind of guys that played hard all the time, and that's certainly a plus.
Well, we've had Enos Watley on a couple of times here during this run here down the stretch of the regular season, Coach, and he mentioned how high he had to lift the ball to Bobby Lee to get into his zone. His attack zone is how Enimo called it. Could anybody jump higher than Bobby Lee that you ever had, Coach?
I doubt it. Bobby Lee was a good leaper, and he ran the floor well. You really could run the floor, and that was a big plus for him because Enos Watley ran the floor as well and got the ball to him on the fast break, and we got a lot of fast breaks in the UCLA game, and that was big for us.
But I will say that's one of my advantage. A lot of guys may have been bigger, for example, the Twin Towers. I watched the tape, and it shows that I rebounded, threw it out, beat everybody down the court, and slammed it.
Yeah.
Get the speed on. Use my speed against them.
Yep.
Well, lining up here for the final regular season game, tell me what you think about Alabama-Auburn, Coach. How do you see that one?
Well, I think both teams are good. Both teams are probably a little bit tired, but it's always an advantage to play at the other place's home court, and Auburn has a good home court advantage. Alabama is very, very good inside and outside. They shoot the three well. Auburn has put their team together with a bunch of guys that maybe didn't have quite the names that some other teams had, but they played awfully hard together, and I thought that was huge. And it should be a heck of a basketball game. According to the number one seed for the NCAA tournament, for the SEC tournament, will be Auburn. They've already won that by winning the round robin. And the number two seed will be Florida. And Alabama will either be up at the very top going against Auburn, or at the very bottom going against Florida, just according to what happens with the Tennessee games, how Tennessee comes out. So it should be very interesting to see exactly those four teams that I have mentioned that get double byes, because you have 16 teams in the league, and a double bye is big for you, and it gives you certainly a lot better chance to do things if you have a double bye rather than, back when I was doing it, we only had 10 teams in the league, you only got a single bye, and some of them get a single bye this weekend, but the double bye really gives you a lot more rest. And so Alabama has a double bye, and Florida and Auburn do as well. Where Alabama will fall, whether it be against Florida first or against Auburn first, I don't know which.
Yeah, talking with Coach Wimp Sanderson right now, and really, I thought Tennessee was going to win last night, and Ole Miss once again. That's another dangerous team, but to me, the team that I think maybe playing the best, maybe Texas A&M or even Vanderbilt. They're playing really well here down the stretch as well, Coach.
Well, Vanderbilt's played really well. They're always very hard to beat at home. Back in the days that I was coaching, you couldn't hardly beat them up there. They were very good, and they've gotten it back now, and they're hard to beat. And I think the biggest problem for A&M is they are last in the league in free throw shooting.
Wow,
which is not good, and they're very skilled, but. You get to the free throw line. They hadn't shot the ball real well from the free throw line, but that goes and comes sometimes. But I think it's going to be interesting. To see then after you get through this, who the ones are going to be and who the twos are going to be as far as the NCAA tournament is concerned, and where you're going to be sent. We got some good draws, and we got some very poor draws. We got some 8, 9s, and 10 seeds, and they are very, very hard to get. You play so many good people on your way to try to get where you need to get. But the best seed we ever got in the 12 years I had the job was a 2, and it's hard. And we were fortunate enough to play in Birmingham that year, and I won a couple of games. So it's you've got to play well at the right time. It's not like the NBA. The NBA, you can have a bad game and still got 5 or 6 more games. But in college basketball,
it's a one and done now.
Yeah.
One and done.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
One and go home.
Other than Birmingham, was there maybe a memorable place that you guys were shipped off to? Maybe because of where you guys were staying, or is there anything in that regards, Coach?
As far as NCAA?
Yes, sir.
We got my last year. I guess it's my last year. We went out west and we beat VCU, and we beat Arizona in Albuquerque before we went and played that memorable game against Loyola Marymount, where we got beat 62-60, and so it was. But going out there to beat Luke Olson's team at Arizona was because they had the crowd. We didn't. The only thing I did, I just that A on Arizona's jerseys. I just told them that A stood for Alabama.
Yeah. It worked also.
That worked. That worked there, Coach. That worked.
It definitely worked for us, I'll tell you. We got a lot of great memories, I tell you, a lot of great memories. One of my favorite, was, of course, the Kentucky win. I don't know how many teams have ever beat Kentucky
championship game in
Yep.
the arena. Yeah,
That was hard. That was a hard game, and we blew them out 48-46.
That's a blowout,
win
Coach.
with the win.
That's a blowout right there to me, Coach.
Yeah, it's hard to go into Lexington. You know, back then, if you won the tournament, you were considered the SEC champ. People don't understand that, and you're the guy. Your team got the ring, and you were considered the champion. And that was big for you because we won it either 5 or 6 times. We won it. We won it in Nashville. We won it in Atlanta. We won it in Knoxville. We won it in Lexington. We won it in Orlando. So we won it a lot of different places. And the only thing we didn't do, we didn't win it in Birmingham. We got beaten the fouls in Birmingham 3 times.
Wow.
Well, I was at the one in Atlanta, and we had a sang ladder. I'll never forget. I was leaving the establishment we were at after the game.
Yeah.
And we started and sang ladder, jumped through the window.
Yeah. Well, we played LSU. We played LSU in Atlanta. They had a very good team, and so that was a good win for us. And in Orlando, we beat I think it's Ole Miss there, and so probably the best game that ever played, or one of the best ones, was when we played Arkansas in Birmingham, and we beat them. And they had 4 or 5 NBA guys, and we had 2 or 3 NBA guys ourselves. But that was a great game. Arkansas was very good on Nolan Richardson, and our team was good, and that was a heck of a game.
Coach, I can't thank you enough for hopping on.
Okay,
And
glad to do it.
It's always fun this time of year, Coach.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Coach.
it is. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
That is Wimp Sanderson, kind enough to join us. Trudy Armand, you remembered every single game that Coach was talking about right there.
Well, I nearly gave myself a concussion when my favorite player of all time, James Robinson, made the play to win that game because they gave him the ball and kind of cleared it out, and he penetrated to the middle. He kicked to Elliott Washington in the corner. He was wide open, and Elliott wasn't really known as a shooter, but he shot it with no hesitation, and he hit it with about, I want to say, 1.5 seconds left. And my dad and I were watching it. It was in Birmingham. But we were watching it on TV, and we had a ceiling fan like that. It was a lot lower. And I leaped up and nearly decapitated myself. But he made the shot. And the thing, if you go back and watch the YouTube, or if you can find it, is Wimp's reaction. Because the first thing he did was he was so happy, but then he was looking at the clock because, again, there was time left.
You got to be the coach.
Arkansas took time out and then threw it deep, but luckily threw it away, and Alabama won the game. And the only thing that was unfortunate in that situation was Alabama emptied the tank in that game. It was a very, very high-level game, and you had to play the next day in the finals, and they had to play Kentucky, who was very, very good. And Alabama played a really good game, but they just didn't have enough left in the tank to win that tournament. And that was the issue. They played so hard and so well in that game, but they just didn't have enough. I mean, because they had some really classic games with Arkansas and Alabama when they joined the league. I mean, one of my all-time favorites was the year they won the national championship with Corliss and Scotty Thurman and those guys, and David Hobbs' team won 66-64 and in Coleman Coliseum. I listened to that one on the radio, and that Arkansas team was very, very good. But Alabama usually always gave Nolan a hard time because Alabama had great athletes. Arkansas had great athletes. It was a great series, and I think it was probably the SEC kind of benefited a lot when they added Arkansas at that time, because I think it gave a jolt of juice to the league. And because Nolan had some great teams. People forget.
They won a national championship.
They won it in 94, and then they played for it again in 95 and lost to UCLA in the finals.
Nolan's a great coach. He was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great. Hell of a job.
Yeah, I thought they did him caught it wrong, and they hadn't been the same since.
Well, and they went through the abyss for a long time after that.
Yeah.
I mean, they it was one of those things where, Nolan was kind of ahead of his time with the way he played. And, the teams that Coach Sanderson was talking about, they had Oliver Miller, Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, Corey Beck, who I couldn't stand, but he was the kind of guy, if you had him on your team, you'd love him. And if he was on the other team, you wanted to, But, I mean, he was just it was a really good player. So, but Alabama had some great teams, and they've always played well in the tournament. Last night I was there. I just, I saw Bobby Lee after the Mississippi State win, and I know he was talking to Sears, and I thought they played at a really high level in that game. And I thought, honestly, that they were the better team. It just didn't finish Tennessee. But last night, I don't know if it was just a hangover. It took so much out of them, drained them. They just had no pop. I mean, it kind of reminded me when they lost to San Diego State when Brandon Miller was hurt. They just didn't have the pop last night. They couldn't get to a loose ball. They couldn't, they've rebounded all year, but they did not rebound last night at all. And then to Florida's credit, they're the best offensive team in the league. They're better than Tennessee offensively. They're better than even Auburn. I mean, that's why they beat Auburn.
Yeah,
but
Auburn.
Now they haven't been as consistent because I don't think they're really good defensively. Because look, Alabama, to me, I've watched Alabama play a lot on TV and in person. Right, was probably their C- game last night. And they scored 94.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But here's why. And see, some people are getting on Grant Nelson. But Grant's hurt. Okay, he's gutting it out, and he played hard. He played hard enough against Tennessee. He gave them all kind of opportunities with the work he did on glass. Bobby Lee, I'm sure, watched the game. Yes, he played hard. He gave them some really good minutes, and I thought he didn't play great last night, but he played hard again. Where they lost it was they had 4 guys who have come through for them all year that did not do their jobs last night. You have to be honest. Muhammad Delbody did not play the way he usually plays. Aiden Holloway did not play the way he usually played. Chris Youngblood did not play the way he usually plays. They had 4 guys that just really struggled.
Would you put Clifford Amore on that list?
No, Cliff played a great second half. He had 11 and 7. He gave them a chance. He gave them a chance. He competed.
Yeah, he had some plays. For example, and he didn't foul the guy, but when the guard, the mid-sized guard they had, did a fake, and instead of just him staying square, he kind of jumped to one side, and he doesn't need to do that. He needs to be square to the basket.
Just put his hands up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I there were a couple plays down the road that I didn't think he played well, but probably the whole game and making the free throws at the end. And to me, he put him in a position, and it seemed like if you remember in the game, we had several 3-pointers go in, come right back out.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Phylon had one do that. Phylon played a great game. He's really starting to hit his stride. I thought he was great against Tennessee. But again, Jaron Stevenson gave him 4. Muhammad 1 point. Aiden Holloway 3 points.
Right.
Youngblood 6. They combined for 14. And these are all dudes at one time or another that have gone for 20, 25 points. If they play their way they're capable, Alabama wins. And if they rebound the ball, if they get 10 more rebounds.
That's the key to it. They give up a lot of second shots, man, putbacks, and
but
turnovers, fast break points. You can't do it.
Here's how good the SEC is, though. To put it in perspective, Bobby Lee played it when it was great, but this is as good as it's ever been. Alabama, to me, is still a top 10 team in the country. They're going to be a 2 seed, I think, at worst. But you could make an argument, and this is not a shot at Alabama. This is not, but it's you look at Alabama is going. If they don't beat Auburn, they're going to be 0-6 or 0-5 right now against Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, Missouri, and Ole Miss.
Wow.
You could say Alabama's the 6th best team out of the SEC.
Wow.
That's how good the league is. Now, they're going to be in the top 4 seeds. They've already got the double bye, like Coach Sanders said. Yeah. They're going to be the 3 if they beat Auburn. If they don't, they're likely going to be the 4 because Tennessee's playing South Carolina. But to put that in perspective, South Carolina beat the number 2 team in the ACC on their home floor of Clemson.
Yeah.
So that's how good, unfortunately, Danny Cannell, that the SEC is. I'm sorry. They're the best league in the country. And Alabama, I mean, I don't think Alabama's the 6th best team because I think they would have beat Missouri at home. It was kind of a point in the schedule. They hit Missouri at a bad time. Missouri's really good at home. And I think they just played poorly against Ole Miss. But Ole Miss just beat Tennessee too, like you just said. So the league is brutal. And so I'm going to be fascinated to see Nate Oates coaching. I even asked him this the other day, is about trying to get Grant Nelson going again. About a week and a half ago, is it's psychology and teaching. So how do you get to, because again, I agree with Coach Sanderson. Right now, you don't, even though they didn't rebound last night, you don't go do one of those midnight practices. You don't, you got to get their legs back. So it's more psychology. How do you reach them to get them back together? But I will say this too. They're going to finish the regular season at Auburn. Then they're going to do whatever they do in Nashville. But I'm going to be fascinated to see once they get outside the SEC what they do, because they played – Alabama has played and Auburn have played the two toughest schedules in the country.
I'm excited to see these SEC teams play other teams than the SEC.
Well, and then look, nobody did Alabama any favors. I mean, I would have rather they played Florida earlier in the year and then had somebody else, on senior night, that they could have run out the gym.
South Carolina.
Like South Carolina or somebody like that. It's just it was a really bad matchup at a bad time after they put so much into Tennessee, because they outplayed Tennessee and for over 39 minutes. They just missed a block out and they missed a couple free throws. Otherwise, they win the game, because I thought they were the better team that day, didn't win it. But again, you got to give Tennessee credit. And right now, I'm going to be fat. But see, here's the thing. Nate Oates is a good tournament coach, because NCAA tournament especially, because this is the third time in 4 years they're kind of faltering down the stretch. But last year they got hot and won it and went to the Final Four.
That's right.
So he knows the psychology of it. So. And then I think they could have, and I've already had friends in the media who I respect, like Blake Byler. They could get a better draw as a 2. You never know, depending on personally. And I'm a Duke guy. I've been a Duke guy since 1986. Bama first, Duke second. But I would take Duke in their regional. Come on, that's what I'd do. I mean, I've seen Cooper Flagg up close, Steve. You know that. So I mean, but if I were Alabama, I would take the challenge of taking on Duke, because their league is not good. They're beating everybody by 25 because the ACC is terrible.
The SEC have been so tough this year. I tell you, the teams have been so tough.
Do you not worry though that all these teams are wearing down?
Well, that's the thing. That's how you got to figure it out, because the double bye is huge, because you play at Auburn on Sunday. It's going to be a war. Auburn's going to come out mad because they didn't play well against A&M. They were a little flat. Didn't have Denver Jones. They held him out, which I don't think they'll hold him out against Alabama. I've had people asking me that. I doubt it. We're going to try to talk about that, maybe get Brian Matthews on in the morning and talk about it. But I would think they would play him at least some minutes. But then you get almost a week off before you play on Friday. And then, like Coach Sanderson said, you're very likely either going to get Auburn or Florida on Saturday if you win. One of the two. So it's going to be another Armageddon deal, but you should be fresh, and you would have played the day before and gotten into a rhythm. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I do think Alabama's still capable of winning the SEC tournament, and it'll be interesting. I think Bruce Pearl will want to try to do the double whammy, and he's already won the tournament twice. He's been a good tournament coach, but Todd Golden will want to win it too, because, look, man, I think Auburn is still going to be the number 1 national seed, but if Florida – hypothetically beats Ole Miss Saturday, and then wins the SEC tournament, at worst, they should be the number 2 national seed if they beat Auburn twice.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. Yeah.
We do need to take a timeout. Bobby Lee, I got someone on hold who wants to ask you a question, so I need you to stick around for at least one more phone call on the other side.
I'm good. Yeah, there's some more wings.
There's some more. Yeah, we're live here. You good? You good?
I'm still eating. I'm good.
Okay.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White, his team takes great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman, or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhower again. Baumhower's Victory Grille is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhower's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
I'm here with Vice President of Mortgage from Bank of Frank Ewing, John Kendall. And John, if you're hearing this commercial right now and you're thinking of getting a new house, boy, oh boy, do you guys have a deal.
We do. It's a grant. $25,000 if you're a veteran, $20,000 if you're not a veteran. This can be used for closing costs, down payments.
Very simple. All you have to do is give Bank of Frank Ewing a call at
256-507-9180.
And how long does this process take?
Oh, it takes just a few minutes, maybe 15, 30 minutes on the phone. We'll send you a link and you fill that out in your own time. We'll approve you.
Who would not want $25,000 for a new house? John Kendall, give them the phone number and online address one more time.
256-507-9180 or at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing giving you $25,000 for a new house. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDIC insured bank as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
Conference USA is bringing its premier basketball event back to the Rocket City. Don't miss the 2025 Conference USA Basketball Championships March 11th through the 15th at the VBC Probst Arena, featuring 20 men's and women's basketball teams playing 18 games with CUSA titles and NCAA automatic bids on the line. Find out who's going to be putting on their dancing shoes. Tickets as low as $40. Visit Ticketmaster.com today to experience Conference USA hoops in the Rocket City, March 11th through 15th.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo. You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Back here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. If you want to go check out Bobby Lee Hurt getting inducted into the 32nd annual Huntsville Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame, head over to their website, hmcahof.com. That's hmcahof.com.
Listeners, there is one thing. You do have to wait till you're 40, though. So you do have to wait until you're at least 40 years old. So sometimes you do have to wait a while.
Monday, April 14th is the induction ceremony there.
Scott will, I'm sure, do the MC.
Oh, yeah, he is the MC.
As he always does.
He's got his tux ready.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, Scott and I are doing the Spraggies this year.
What is that?
It is a awards banquet over at UAH.
Is that the Hall of Fame for UAH?
Well, it's more of it's just a end of the year awards banquet
for their
for
athletics?
everybody.
Okay,
Yeah.
the Spraggies.
That's right, the Spraggies.
Nice. Well, Tommy Murr should win a few.
You think?
Yeah.
You think?
I think.
Well,
and maybe Blake Campbell will finally win an award. Running joke there.
Don't get me started. Really, don't get me started.
And maybe, the big man will be first team all Spraggy.
We'll find out. That is on April 22nd, by the way. Day after our golf tournament, which third annual, that's going to benefit Make-A-Wish Foundation. I believe we're putting that information out if you'd like to get a team together. That's coming up on Monday, April 21st, down at Cherokee Ridge. Okay, Bobby Lee. Had a caller call in who wanted you to speak to the North-South All-Star Game, your senior year, and the dunk contest.
Uh-oh.
Where was that located? Where was the game played in?
That's all the information I was given.
Oh, okay.
North-South.
The North-South All-Star Game, his senior year, and the dunk contest.
It was in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, the Tuscaloosa. Okay.
Yeah. Because
I know it was great. Yeah, it was a great game. Yes.
Yeah, but the dunk contest, I'm trying to remember who was the. I went to the one. You're a year ahead of me, I think, or maybe 2 years ahead of me. But the one Barkley was in,
right? Me and Charles Barkley. Yeah.
But it was, it was Buck Johnson beat Charles in the dunk contest, and truthfully, I think I love Buck Johnson. Great guy. Lived here for a while.
Well,
I don't think he still lives here anymore, though.
Oh, he's in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Buck's in Birmingham. Yes.
Yeah, but I thought Charles won that.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Obviously, it was great. That was great.
Yeah.
Probably great.
Y'all had some great battles, I know, with Charles Barkley.
Oh,
back in
yeah.
the day.
Oh, man. We had a great battle. He always give me props, man. He always give me props.
Yeah, I know it.
I always talked about me. He mentioned that the toughest player he would play against from Huntsville, Alabama, by me.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
I just got through watching We Beat the Dream Team. It is a documentary on Max.
Right, yes.
And I saw a little behind the scenes of it. And George Raveling mentioned that he had to cut Chuck from the 84 team because Bobby Knight thought he was too mouthy.
Right, he was. Yeah, he was.
Ironic.
Yeah, that is ironic.
That's exactly what I wanted to say it. Bobby Knight thought he was too mouthy.
Oh, yeah, Bobby Knight. Bobby Knight was a great coach, man. I really miss him. He was a great coach. I was out for the pre-Olympic team, pre-Olympic trials and all that, man. It was great. We had a lot of great players.
What year was that for you?
What is it, 80?
It was 84?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been that same team.
Yeah.
Coach Knight.
So what? Coach Knight was there, and George Raveling, and
all the guys was yeah. I think
was Mike Krzyzewski a part of that, or
I know Wayman. I think he was there. A couple guys.
Okay,
but a lot of big known players there. Patrick Ewing, all the guys.
Yeah, some dude named Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael Jordan. Yes, of
well,
course.
So there's that as well.
Well, yeah, it's great, man. We have a lot of great talent, man.
Well, congratulations again on making the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I told him Bobby Lee.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
And then look, I did tell him sometimes you got to wait because you have to be at least 40. You got to get old to get in that one.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the rules because we used to joke with Chris Anderson about that too. Because when he went in, because you got to be 40 years old before you get voted in.
Okay.
40 plus. That's just a rule.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not on the committee. A little birdie told me that.
Okay.
So when you get nominated, yeah, there you go. There you go.
20 years later.
20 years later.
But you got to wait sometime. Everybody asks why you're not getting in. They make you wait. They make you wait. And so,
no, I'm definitely privileged, man.
But yeah, man. But you definitely deserve it, and that's why basketball. That's why this area is the king of basketball in our state because of guys like him and all the coaching and the great players we've had here.
North Alabama, yes, man.
In terms of how physical the game is today compared to the 80s,
there's no comparison.
No comparison.
No.
Yeah.
Back then in the 80s, it was more physical.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. My thing is, I was taught, man, if a guy cut across the lane, you body checking.
Mm-hmm.
You put your body on you, and the next time he come through, he go, and he gonna be aware of it. And now, you're not even allowed to touch him and push him.
They got to go to the monitor.
Yeah, go to the monitor. Yeah. Every 5 minutes, go to the monitor.
How about that part of the game?
Yeah.
There's also more support, at least from what I'm reading, to turn it into 4 quarters rather than 2 halves.
Right,
Do you have an opinion on that, or?
It's not the same. Like, it's not a whole lot different.
I mean, the only difference is you get to reset your team fouls at the end of every quarter.
Yes.
I mean, that's probably, to me, the biggest difference.
Man, just my opinion. Why are you going to change a good thing? Basketball, I mean, right now,
the only basketball
the
that
NBA does it. I mean, who cares?
No, everybody. I mean, even women's basketball flipped over to 4 quarters.
When you do it in high school.
Yeah. And the only basketball is men's college basketball.
That's what makes it special.
Two halves is enough. Right?
Yeah.
2 halves is 4 quarters. All right?
I mean, they just want to change it so they have more commercials.
Well, oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Right, yes. I can't thank you enough for the time.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
Please feel free to stick around. Enjoy some more wings. Do you need some more wings?
I'll go get them and just me upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will continue. Let's go ahead and take our final timeout. We'll wrap things up here from Baumhower's on the other side. A very busy show here this Thursday evening.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at SensaGreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another chilly night across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures drop into the mid-30s. A mostly cloudy sky for your Friday. We are going to be a little bit warmer. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-60s, dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight early into your Saturday. A mostly cloudy sky Saturday afternoon. Some scattered showers are going to be in the forecast, but once again, temperatures climbing into the lower 60s, dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s through the overnight early Sunday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We are your home for March Madness.
For a second straight year, Ivy Madness has come to March Madness. Yale upsets Auburn, and Yale is on to the second round.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Back here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. Bobby Lee Hurt sticking around. Jordy Armand sticking around. He's brought to you by Environmental Comfort Systems. You can check them out online at envcomfort.com. Okay, Jordy Armand, I got something for you.
All right.
More disappointing regular season this year. Alabama football or Alabama basketball?
That's tough. I would probably have to say football.
100%.
Just because I think they were better than Oklahoma. They're better than Vanderbilt. Going through that transition was tough. And then they had every chance to beat Tennessee. You know, they left that on the field. They were good enough to beat a Georgia team before Georgia got everybody banged up, you know. And so I think football would be the most – because, again, basketball, the schedule has been brutal, man. And they've still got a chance to rewrite the ending like they did last year, so especially in the postseason. But I think football was the most disappointing, especially when you consider how much they had coming back from the team the year before.
It was year one.
But coaching transitions are tough. When you go back and look at it now in hindsight, Kalen DeBoer had as good a first year as anybody's had in the most turbulent time. People try to say, well, he had the best roster in here, but he also everybody can leave.
Yeah, I don't
with
know.
no penalty.
I think the most disappointing thing about the football was the discipline on the team, all the penalties, the quarterback. The way I thought that a couple of times they should have sat him down just to get his attention.
Right.
And
you have to have discipline.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Right.
And that's the only thing I'm worried about. I think we have a master coach. I think they're going to recruit well. Although I wish they would get more players in the state of Alabama. I think we just got a player for the state.
They're going to be they're going in 26 and 27. It's going to be a much easier situation. Plus, they're here now. They've been here a full year. They have the lay of the land. Courtney Morgan understands the geography. They know the players that they want. And again, last year the emphasis though, I just don't think. I think they evaluated a lot of those guys. The only one that they lost that they really wanted was Derek Smith from Selma. I think everybody else they evaluated, they liked, they didn't love.
Well, here's what I'm going to give a point. Okay, in this time of NIL,
right,
where these got kids that grow up Alabama fans.
Yeah,
if they're close to the guys that are, if it's like very close, they ought to go with the guys from Alabama. Because they're the ones that have to look their families in the face to go somewhere else.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's not hard for the Minnesota guy that was playing center to go to Ohio State.
Yeah.
You know, but he doesn't have to live with that the rest of his life.
But I'll just tell you,
right?
But here's the craziness, though. The best player in the state of Alabama in the last cycle went to Oregon and didn't even consider Alabama much because his brother had played for Mo Linquist at Buffalo, didn't have a good experience. And then Naheem Alford, he committed to Ohio State.
Well, you're going to have.
Then you thought he was going to go to Auburn. Everybody did until the last minute. And then Phil Knight comes in there, and then boom, he's wearing a Duck uniform.
Right.
It's just unpredictable.
Right, I got that. But I'm just saying that you still, to me, it's harder when you get there. Now, it's easier to go out of high school.
Right. Yes.
But once you go, and leave, it's a whole different ball of wax. And that's just I'm not saying that they should sign everybody from Alabama. I'm just saying if it's close.
But you need to build relationships too, and one of them,
no question,
and that did help Alabama with Kelby Collins, who came over from Florida. He was from Gardendale, and then they were able to get him in, and so there you go. And so he's they've been able to. They got him to bounce back and come to Alabama. So I think they're in good shape. I think they had a really good portal class. They're right now the couple of situations that they don't have a lot of depth at tight end because they had some guys graduate and move on. CJ Dupree went to the NFL, and then they had a kid go in the portal. So that's why. But I will say this: the Cuevas kid, I was watching some practice film. He definitely looks like he's put on weight.
He was good last year.
Yeah, he's gonna. I think he's gonna take a second year jump.
Yeah.
And then Danny Lewis is hurt, but he's going to be kind of the 3-down tight end. And then they've got a couple of freshmen that they like. One of them's not even here yet. He's averaging 18 and 9 playing high school basketball in Sacramento, California. His name's Caleb Edwards. He's 6'6", 240. He'll be there in June. So, and I think in this day of NIL and the portal and the way they teach, you got to play freshmen. You got to play them to make them help them get to want to stay.
Right, exactly.
For one, there you go. And so
I think the NIL deal just threw a lot of them good.
Yeah, and see, one thing I did like about DeBoer's staff is they played a bunch of freshmen. Like the secondary, for example, Wes. The secondary is going to be completely transformed because they played so many of them.
You had to.
Yeah, but they didn't have to play 8 or 9 people.
Yeah.
They played 8 or 9 people every game.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was just the way they did things a little different. Coach Saban, he would wrap them up. He'd send out the same 4 or 5, and they have broken leg, and he'd have a splint on them. They'd still be out there. They're going to start, and they'd be playing at the end of the game too.
Right.
Hardly ever did he substitute till the very. I mean, he'd have whole second team instead of the secondary. So,
Wes, what do you think? How many years you think Debo? Before he actually gets the team going, I think it's going to take a couple of years.
So that could be any time. Listen, they have the team to be good this year.
Right.
Define good. You mean SEC championship?
Yes.
All right.
100%.
Yeah,
they have 3. They have 3 really good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, the freshman's not going to be ready to play, but the other 2 are really good. Now the freshman might be ready to play by the end of the year, but hopefully we won't need it.
What, game 17?
Yeah. Hey, listen, and if you're bad luck, we might not know who the quarterback's going to be, right? You can get 3 hurt playing 17 games.
Right, exactly, man, exactly.
Especially as much as they run in college. I mean, nobody's going to be the athlete that our quarterback was last year. But Ty Simpson's a hell of an athlete. And he throws the ball better, reads better. His whole thing was he wasn't very mature. I thought he would beat Milroe out the first
2 years
year.
ago. Yeah.
If you watch the first scrimmage, but then you see him hold the ball up, fumble it when it going in.
Yeah.
That shows you he didn't have the maturity to handle it. Now he's stayed there, and you can tell the maturity. If you talk to anybody in the program, they'll tell you he'll find the guy that's open and he'll put it. He can throw the ball more accurate than anybody down there. Now, how all that lasts?
So how consistent would you say Milroe was?
Well, you saw it. He consistently threw interceptions last 3 games. So it depends on what you're looking for. He threw 12 interceptions last 3 games. Hell, I don't care how fast you are. He was good at making tackles. No, he wasn't either. There's an Oklahoma guy. He tried to slide tackle him. I thought they were gonna. Yeah, I thought if it had been a soccer game, they would have
red carded.
They red carded. Took him out. I thought right there we should have red carded.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Well, Alabama fan is just not hard. They're hard. The guy came in his first year. Give him a chance.
No, I don't think. I'm not against the board at all.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just, but I'm being realistic and talking about, hey, this is what I saw. Right. I mean, I was never on the bandwagon to fire him or anything. I thought that was ridiculous. Because the guy, where are we going to find a guy that's been in a championship game?
Yeah. Jimbo's out there.
For a reason.
We've only got about a minute here. Tell me the most wings you've ever eaten in one sitting, one meal. How many wings have you put down?
Well, it depends on how big they are.
Okay.
Did you not do they used to have a wing eating contest?
Yeah. Did you not do
Baumhower
that?
down Tuscaloosa when we were at school? Did you ever
I
do
had
that?
24 wings at one time. 24.
Okay.
You know, Chris Moore.
You've got 24 wings right here.
I mean, Chris Moore.
I'm gonna keep eating.
Chris Moore, the punter, ate over 100 in like the time limit.
Oh, wow.
He won the thing.
I'll put Bobby Lee up against Chris any day of the week. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you, Bobby Lee.
That is
Good
going
seeing
to
you.
wrap us up here on a Thursday. Certainly tune in to Drew every weekday morning. It is Talking Ball with Drew and Scott. Alabama women's basketball fires up at 7:15, taking on those Florida Gators.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And swamp, the ag is wrong. There's nothing like the SEC. The weekend's full of surprises. From Williams Bright to Death Valley. On the Five Bomb Show, Paul's on the road. If he don't get the best of me, call Paul. He'll make sense of it all.